What's up, YouTube? Today we have a battle versus kingnote7 on YouTube. It was extremely epic and it went really down to the wire. I really enjoyed it. It was a fun match. So he starts out with his Crobat and I started with my Salamence. I go for the Dragon Claw because I didn't think Outrage would KO and I didn't want to get locked into it. And then he goes for the Confuse Ray and I don't want to risk getting confused. So I switch out and I go into my Ninetales just to set up the Sun really. And he goes for an Acrobatics, which I'm assuming he doesn't hold an item. I don't know why he wouldn't go for the Flying Gem. Maybe he doesn't. I mean, maybe he does. I don't know. But it doesn't look like he holds an item. So I don't want to take another Acrobatics, so I go into Heatran just to absorb the hit, really. And I know that I'm also Scarfed, and I could probably outspeed. And that I do. I do take out the Crobat. It was a awesome whapa moment by George Lopez. So now he sends in his Heatran to get rid of the Sun, and he probably knows I'm Scarfed after that. So he knows Flamethrower won't do anything to him. So I go into Donphan to not abuse the Sandstorm, but not take damage from it. And he also has Sturdy, so that's good. So now he goes for Crunch, and after a Dragon Dance, I was amazed that Donphan took that so well. I mean, really. And then this thing can 2-hit KO with an Earthquake, and this thing isn't even offensive. I was really surprised by that. Donphan is just a monster. Now I was predicting him to switch out because he might want to set up the Sandstorm later. That's what I thought he would do. So I go for the Stealth Rocks, but it wasn't a terrible play anyways, I guess. Because another Earthquake will certainly take him out. And now this time, I thought he probably would have switched to save his Tyranitar now, knowing that I'd just go for the Earthquake, but he actually stays in. Maybe he thought Crunch would KO, but that's great. I got Tyranitar out of the way. That was a major threat to my team because it set up the Sandstorm. And once I send in Ninetales, that means that the Sun is dominant in this game. So I go for a knockoff on the Bronzong just to knock its leftovers off. And now I'm really worried because this is a Calm Mind variant, and these things can be pretty powerful if you let them set up. So I go into Mozilla Firefox, which is obviously just to set the Sun up, really. So he just keeps going for Calm Minds, and that's kind of bad, obviously. But I'm not overwhelmed too much because this thing doesn't have a ton of brute power. It's more defensive. So I go for a Flamethrower, and it doesn't do a lot, but I was really just looking to sacrifice this and fodder it because I just needed the Sun up. I figured he wouldn't... Oh, he gets a crit. I don't think it matters. I figured he wouldn't keep setting up because I do have Fire-type moves. So now I go into Venusaur and go for the Sleep Powder, which does hit, but like every other match in previous battles, you'll see, I go for a Leash Seed, and he gets the first turn Wake Up, and he goes for a Psyshock. I mean, really, if you look through all my battles, I can't recall a time when someone has not got the first turn Wake Up. It happens to me every time. So they lose my Venusaur to that. Hacks. And then I just go for an Overheat with my Scarf Heatran, praying that it would take it out, and it does. An Overheat in the Sun by an absolute God mode Pokemon. There's no way that with a +2 that could live it. So I switch out because I'm predicting he might be Banded or Scarfed, and he might use the close combat, and he does. And I knew that obviously my Donphan wouldn't be able to live it, but he wouldn't be able to live any hits at that low of health anyways. So now I go into Salamence, and he switches out because he's locked. I figured he was locked into close combat. So I go for an Outrage. I know that Gliscor probably would have went in, but I figured that I probably, if I was lucky, 2-hit KO'd it. I don't know, I'm not having good luck against... not having good luck with this Salamence in terms of power. I might want to switch to Bandit. Its speed is decent anyways. So I get the confusion, and I didn't even pay attention. So I stayed in for some reason. And then I actually live the Ice Fang, which is pretty cool, actually. Now I switch out because I know this thing's Scarfed, and I could use it later. Then I go into my Heatran. Just why not? So, yeah, I'm Scarfed, and I'm definitely going to outspeed. I just go for the Overheat. I'm not sure if I could have used Flamethrower. That might have KO'd it, but I really wanted to make sure I got all the power I could get to take this thing out. because this thing really could have been a threat. It might have been a Swords Dance variant or something, and that would have hurt. Excuse me. So now I go into Crobat. I was predicting the Spore, and I didn't really want anything else. I could have probably sent in Salamence, but I know that Crobat dual resists both of its stab moves, and I highly doubt this thing would carry Hidden Power. I mean, that'd be stupid. And this Crobat's a little bit bulky, so... And then I get the second turn Wake Up, which is pretty good, I suppose. And he takes it out with Heat Wave, because Crobat for the win is that much of a boss. So now he goes into his Terrakion, and goes for the Stone Edge. I really just wanted to see what he would do. I didn't want to fodder my Crobat, but like I said, I need to know what he locked himself into. And then I just went to Salamence hoping for a miss, kinda. And he actually does miss, which I'm gonna tell you, that hacks that's equal. You get the first turn Wake Up with Bronzong and took out my Venusaur. Hacks is equal now. We both got major hacks once. So now I just go into George Lopez, which is obviously my epic Heatran, and I'm really hoping, because this is my last Pokemon, that's his last, that I can live a Stone Edge, and I do with 55 HP, and I just go for the Flamethrower, because why not, and I do take this thing out and defeat kingnote7. So that was a really awesome match. It was really fun, kept me on my toes, and it was really close to the end. So yeah, if you like this video, leave a like, be sure to subscribe, and peace out.